will change in a moment. Your body is incredibly complex and organized, with thousands of processes happening every single second, with millions of compounds involved. Organisms in general separated themselves from the dead universe so they could do their own thing for some while. And when this separation disappears, you die, joining the rest of the dead universe again. Your body, or the universe, for some reason, would always want organized things such as life to be done with its own thing, to become dull and dead. So your body has to constantly fight to maintain this separation. But eventually, as you get older, your body becomes so chaotic and unorganized that you die, joining the rest of the dead universe. This push towards everything becoming unorganized, chaotic, is a fundamental rule of our universe and is called entropy. But what is entropy? Let's imagine it like this. Let's just imagine water flowing. For the water to flow, most of its water molecules should move in the same direction, like this. It's in an ordered form, with all their directions aligned. And this is in a useful form, actually. If you put a water wheel into the water, it will spin. You could power your house with it. But what if it wasn't in an ordered form? It was in a random form. It would still have the same direction, it's the same amount of energy because the particles are moving, but they're all in random directions, in a disordered form. It's not very useful. You couldn't put a water wheel into it and power your house. It's just still water. And each with the second law of thermodynamics states, and this is exactly what life is doing. Just like all the molecules moving in the same direction, light from the sun is the same as well, with photons, particles of light, moving in the same direction in an ordered form. And life is just tapping into that ordered form, powering its molecular machinery. But what it gets order, but it dissipates out disorder in a random form. So what we get from the sun and all of life is not in fact energy. All the energy we get from the sun, Earth gets, it releases back into the cosmos, or otherwise the Earth would just heat up. But what it gives back is a disordered form, such as thermal energy with random jiggling of particles. Now, it's not only great action that order gives, it also gives everything great we see. Order, such as the DNA in your cells. It's just proteins stacked up in a specific order to hold information. Or let's say a sandcastle, a simple sandcastle. It's sand particles ordered in a specific way to resemble a sandcastle. A universe where everything would be disordered, with no order, would be very boring and dull, with particles just jiggling around in random directions, holding no information whatsoever. But the second law of thermodynamics states that entropy or disorder should always increase, meaning with each passing second, order is running out. Disorder is increasing. Each passing second, the universe is getting into a more disordered form. But why? But why does something such beautiful have to always constantly disappear? I want now all of you to imagine this as well. Imagine two boxes, 1, 2. And you have 100 balls. I won't count to 100, but okay. You put all 100 boxes in the same, 100 balls in the same box. It's in an ordered form. 0 in the one, there's 0 in one of them, and all of them in one. It's very ordered. But as life goes on, as things change in the universe, because that's a tendency towards, you just randomly take one ball and switch its box. And eventually, after some time, you'll realize that it's roughly equal. How roughly equal? Well, it's in a disordered form. It's roughly equal. We started from an ordered state, moved to a disordered state. And just because there are trillions of arrangements of the ball's position in the boxes for it to be considered disordered. And just a few, like let's say 10, which we would say, oh, it's ordered and it's good and it's everything beautiful we see all around. Another interesting phenomenon, as I said, it goes from order to disorder, is something happens. When it changes from that, you notice that there's a time direction. It's always moving from order to disorder, giving an arrow of time. So, and no other law in physics is non-time symmetric. All of them work the same, forwards and backwards. And if you take a disordered form of energy, such as air particles in the room, and just look at them, you would no way tell forward from backwards. And this is the movement that defies time's direction. Well, it is evidence. We all experience the arrow of time, because saying things like, because the bed got wet, I spilled the water on the bed would sound mundane and they'll kick you out of the room. We experience this time's direction. But, okay, so now let's move on to scale things up to the universe scale. This was some short-sighted sights. But if we scale it up, lengthen it, from the universe, start of the universe, from the Big Bang to the end of it, we'll see that it's the same phenomenon occurs. And scientists know that the Big Bang happened because when you look far, you see back in time, because time takes time to travel. And if you look far enough, so far enough that you see 13.8 billion years back in time, eventually so far back that you see the very early small universe. Now entropy might, and so if it started from the Big Bang, and it has been always decreasing, the Big Bang was very ordered, all particles in the same time, then constantly it was decreasing, then you would look into the future, we come to the heat death, where everything ends in a disordered form. No information is held, life which is highly ordered will not exist, and everything will be over in a few trillion years just because of this movement. We started from order, we'll disappear. Now, you might all think at this point, oh, the entropy is such a horrible thing, pushing towards disorder, creating and making us age ourselves. We are ordered as we age, blood cracks, cancer forms, the moving disordered, chaotic. It might seem like a horrible thing, but take this for 1 second. Now imagine a cappuccino, a coffee. There's an animation of it soon as well, video actually. Coffee, and you pour milk to it. It's the first time probably a video like this is in TEDx. But if you put a coffee into it, milk into it, you'll first start that when they were separate, they were in an ordered state. But when you pour the coffee, milk, it becomes starting something miraculous happens. So that's the start of the Big Bang. You see those random, beautiful structures, swirls unlike any other. And this is where we are. At the end, you'll see that it's in a disordered state, very boring state, and that's it. Okay, the start is boring, the end is boring, but it's the middle that matters. And that's where we are today, in a movement from order to disorder, and where everything beautiful we see happen. Galaxies colliding, planets forming, life itself existing, all of you being here in the assembly hall is all because of that movement that we see. Now let's go a little bit theoretical over here. So if you take it reasonably that there's always this movement, oh, sorry. Okay, this doesn't work. We pretend it doesn't exist. Always, if there's a movement from there, then every movement you make, you use up order from the sun and radiate in a non-caring fashion to the universe a disordered energy, bringing the end of time closer together. You're all doing that, we are all doing that, bringing it closer until the end of the universe. So you could reasonably say that lazy people are just trying to extend the lifetime of the universe. Just by being lazy, they move less, releasing less disorder. And everything we know, everything about you will be forgotten. Everything. But what will never be forgotten is the entropy, disorder you add to the universe. The universe will never be able to forget that. So use the order you have and that exists around you, and thank you for listening.